G'day guys, welcome to the channel. So on this video it's a bit of a different one for me. Something really dangerous happened to a family member's vehicle of mine, and unfortunately I was driving it the first time this event happened and the second time they were driving it. So long story short, this vehicle got a few miles on it and it had some of the major suspension components replaced as one does, and the owners of this vehicle did what any good owner do. They replaced all of the components at the same time. So they replaced all of the ball joints and the suspension. They bought them from a main branded company. That company is still selling these parts today in New Zealand, advertising them as a quality product. Now, I'll get down to what really happened, but long and short was these components failed a catastrophic way, and it caused thousands of dollars of damage to the vehicle, and it could have led to, in my opinion, a fatal accident, if not harm to my family members. So that's why I'm making this video. I'm really unhappy that it's happened. I'm really unhappy that the company's still selling this product. It's still available in New Zealand markets. They have taken no responsibility for what has happened, and for legal reasons I'm not going to say that company's name, what the brand is, but I'll attach some photos here so you can have a look as we go as to what I'm talking about and the damage that was done. So I borrowed this vehicle. I was down visiting family, and it was a 96 Toyota Prado, good engine, good all-round truck, you know, good family wagon. And my vehicle had a power steering leak I discovered, and I've ran out of power steering fluid for the vehicle. So an alarm came on the dashboard, and I went, oh, well, I'm not going to drive that to the auto parts store to get power steering fluid with no power steering fluid in the system, because I don't want to wreck the pump. So I said, hey, can I borrow your vehicle? Yeah, sure, go ahead. So I borrowed the vehicle, went to the store, got my bits and pieces I needed. As I went to pull out of the car parking lot, the whole front end of this vehicle collapsed. Now, it was a lifted four-wheel drive 2-inch lift, but never been off-road. It's something that one day they would like to take it off-road and do things with it, but they haven't been. And so I've never been in an accident, nothing crazy like that. As I rolled up to the entrance to the car parking lot to leave, the whole front end of this vehicle collapsed and dropped on the ground. Now I thought tyres come off, grate has collapsed in the car parking lot. No, the ball joint, which is only a couple of months old, has snapped. The shaft has snapped off on the base of the ball joint and has caused the whole suspension to literally collapse and drop the whole vehicle chassis and all on the ground. Now it has, the tyre as a result has gone up into the guard, has bowed out the guard, caused damage to the vehicle, pulled the CVs out, done things like, luckily it happened at a low speed. I had to get a tow truck, I had to get this vehicle towed away, we had to repair it, go through all of that. Now I thought maybe this is a freak thing. No, it wasn't. So this happened a second time on the opposite side. The exact same part on the opposite side of the vehicle failed, and the same dramatic fashion. This time the vehicle was going faster. My family were driving it, and they were going around the roundabout. Again, I'm going to attach the photos here so you can have a look at what happened. But it makes me so angry just thinking about and talking about what could have happened. So they're coming around the roundabout, they're going around the roundabout 25 k's, you know, normal roundabout speed. It was double laned roundabout, coming around the roundabout, and the same thing happened again, except this time the vehicle was travelling a lot faster. Vehicle again drops down the chassis, tyre gets sucked up into the vehicle, into the guard, destroys the inner guard, destroys the outer guard, rips the CV out, tears the CV boots, rips the brake lines out of this vehicle, and drops the chassis on the ground, grounds the bolts off on the suspension. Luckily it wasn't going any faster and it didn't do a rollover or something like that, or cause it to pull off into another lane and hit someone else. So this vehicle's now stuck in the middle of the road. This component, which is a part of the suspension, this bottom ball joint, which you'll see in the photos, has snapped off again on the opposite side. These parts have never been in a crash, never been off-roaded, the vehicle's never had anything crazy like that happen to it, and these parts have failed in such a dangerous way. And again, these parts are still for sale in New Zealand. These people are still selling them. we went and hit them up because at this point, this four-wheel drive has copped a lot of damage. We're talking new brake lines, we've got to rebuild the CV joints, new inner and outer guard, a nightmare to repair it because it's damaged bolts and things on the suspension, and we've had to get we actually managed to get a forklift that was in the yard next to us to come and help pick the vehicle up to the point where we could get it onto a tow truck. Had to tow this thing away, do the repairs, which were a nightmare and things, and it cost a lot of money to fix this. It was something that should never ever happen. You know, I've been full driving, going off-road and working on vehicles my whole life. My grandfather's a diesel mechanic. My father, he's worked on vehicles his whole life and things like that. And so I've never ever seen a suspension component fail like this. And the potential for it to hurt someone or kill someone is very real. You know, it's just lucky that that hadn't happened at 100k. The family had driven to another town, so they'd been on the open road that day, and you know they could have been travelling along at 100k going around the corner when that happened. And you'll see from the photos I'm going to put up that it was a major failure and how bad it could be. The vehicle could have rolled. You imagine if that was going down the road and your family were in it and the suspension collapsed in that manner and dropped the vehicle on the ground. You know, four-wheel drives, the tyre could have been sucked under the vehicle, it could have rolled or pulled it out into another lane to incoming traffic and had a head-on accident. You know, people could have been seriously hurt or killed if it had happened at a higher speed. And that, to me, infuriates us. Now, my family have gone back to that company with the receipts and had that company on about it and, you know, demanded a refund for the parts and repairs for the vehicle to be covered. No, they deny any responsibility for it, and they're still out there now selling these parts. So, to me, guys, be careful when it comes to anything suspension or brake related on your vehicle that could impact the safety of the people in it. Be very careful who you buy your products from. Make sure you you do your research and go with companies that you can trust with good reputable brands. And I'm not saying that something cheap or not cheaply priced is necessarily bad, but do your research out there before you go buying those sort of components for your vehicle, because I don't want you guys to have yourself or a family member wind up like mine did, copping thousands of dollars in repairs because the parts have failed and caused damage to other things, or worse yet, your family winds up having a serious accident because of this taking place. So just be careful who you buy your parts from out there, guys. Like I said, there's dodgy parts out there like this in circulation. They shouldn't be. It really makes me angry to think what could have happened to my family, and what did happen was bad enough, but it could have been so much worse. If you like four-wheel driving and outdoor activities, click the link to one of my other videos where we go around Mount Buster and Ida Valley four-wheel driving in some amazing country, and check out some of my other videos on the channel. And more importantly, stay safe, guys, and I'll see you out there on the tracks.